Folks, I want to talk to you about something a bit different today, and I'm going to get right into it. We desperately need another Animus Reset event in Etheria Restart. Let me take a step back if no one knows what I'm talking about. Well, if some of you don't know what I'm talking about, people that have been playing the game since the start definitely know what I mean. And this is an event where you can, for free and then for a low price in terms of Hydra crystals, in-game currency, not real-life money, reset some of your animuses, or anima. I'm going to call them anima. That's what I always do. That's the plural of something that ends in US. So you can reset some of these units. And this is huge. It's huge for a lot of reasons I could talk about, but it mostly comes down to one thing: perfect lattices. We don't get any of them, and we need them. And they keep buffing characters and rebalancing units and finding ways to make or less desirable to build anima. Now, maybe someone we'd want to try out and we might want to invest in a little bit, but we don't have anything to do that with. We don't have the materials. The game is doing a ton of stuff right currently, but we really need to run this event back. We really do. The last time they did it was on June 15th, just 10 days after global launch, and it was mostly in response to the Shadow Sonian nerf. We're here on October 1st. It's been almost 4 months. It's time, guys. Like, it's totally time. So I'll give some more background. I'll show you what it used to look like. This is kind of my response to the patch notes. I know I didn't do a huge deep dive into these patch notes. There was so much here, but I saw so many other really good videos about it. I was like, do I need to? I'm already a couple days late. So I'm going to kind of give my general thoughts here in the form of talking about the need for this Animus Reset event, because this is a pretty extreme rebalance. Many SSR and SR units getting a crazy glow up. I mean, what's going on with Jada and Borgny, Tsukiyomi, and then of course, oh my God, where's Lilith? The Lilith buff is crazy. Like, oh my, if I had Lilith, I don't, but if I pull her, I would love to reset someone and get some lattices back so I could play around with Lilith 2.0. Holy moly, there's so much good stuff here. So I feel like if they're going to do a big rebalance at the end of every RTA season, that should come with an Animus Reset event. It's just player friendly, and I think their concern is it might drive down revenue. I disagree. I think it will drive up engagement in the game, because I think players that are playing less frequently or maybe took time away from the game might be like, oh my God, I always thought Lilith looked cool or Borgny looked cool, and now they're really playable in RTA or something. Those players might come back and say, okay, I'll reset my Real Mocha or something like this, my Rosa. Those are 2 units I would probably reset right now, get my lattices back, try those new units out, and then maybe they fall in love with the game. That magic is captured, and then you've got players back, and some of those players will start spending money. So I actually think, on the whole, it would be a positive, not just for player experience, not just as a PR move, but also for Etheria Restart's bottom line. I think it would put money in XD's pocket, and that's part of my sell. I honestly believe that. While I am down here, though, very quickly, I did break this down on stream, but I do want to say some very interesting things going on with shells. Alicorn, the debuff dispel, has gone from 2 to 3. That's very nice. White Fang gets slightly more crit damage at max stacks, but you're getting less stacks and more crit damage per stack, so it's better in terms of efficiency and slightly better in terms of end result. Halloween got an enormous buff. 100% chance now to reduce the cooldown of one random skill every single time Halloween is active. That is going to happen every 3 turns. There's a lot of ways you can manipulate this to make it work exactly like you want. It is insane. I've been farming Sharon like crazy. And finally, Codex and Magic did get a pretty significant nerf in PvP. So if you're not running a cleave comp and it's more of a longer form thing, I do think Codex and Magic is fairly undesirable at the moment after this nerf. But let's talk about the anima, and let's talk about all this rebalancing and why we need this. This is what we need. This ran on June 15th. I think that was the first day. It was within the first week or 2 of the game launching, and it was essentially a chance to fully reset an Animus you had invested into, whether you brought it from level 1 to level 2, or whether you fully built it to 6 stars, level 50, with 12 perfect lattices. It didn't matter. Any unit that had been built at all could be placed here and could be reconfigured, reset. And as a part of that reset, after the reconfiguration, the Animus's original star level, and prowess and power would all be brought down to 0, or brought down to the base, right? So brought down to level 1, no extra prowess and power, no lattices in there, nothing. They're just as they were when you first pulled them, right? And then you will be refunded all the lattices, shadow prints, investigation records, prowess materials, and ether coins you had invested in those lattices. It was awesome because it gave you some flexibility. And it made a lot of sense at the time when they did this because they did a kind of shocking last-second rebalance with a couple units. The big one that stood out was Shadow Sonia, but this gave people an opportunity to feel like they didn't waste a bunch of their resources. They could reset, then they could decide exactly how they wanted to reallocate those. And I think it was great. At this point now, we've had 2 big balance patches, and the latest one was especially big. We need to bring this event back. It would be very player-friendly. I think it would be very good for the game's reputation right now, and I honestly think it would be a net win financially as well for them. I just think it's going to make people feel really good about the game, try out new things, and then become reinvested, both literally and metaphorically, in their playing experience while doing anything with Etheria Restart. That's what I believe. Here are the official announcements when it went live. So I guess they announced it on the 15th and it went live, depending on where you live, on the 16th. This was on Facebook from the official Etheria page. After carefully considering player feedback, we acknowledge that the primary request is for a reset option for the affected Animus. We are preparing to revamp the Animus Reconfiguration event on Monday, June 16th. And there was infrastructure that already existed with this, because when you started a new account, you could do this for X number of days or whatever. But this was after that period, they reintroduced it. And though it was for like affected Animus, like they said, someone like Shadow Sonia, you could do anything. I actually remember I had so few units built at that time, and I'd just gotten Ling Luo, and I just wanted investigation records. I don't even think I'd invested many perfect lattices at all, if at all. I don't know. So what I did is I reset my Sonia, who was 5 stars. This is how long ago this was, my green Sonia, just so I'd have stuff to build up. I think it was my Rosa at the time. I can't even remember. Obviously, it would be very different this time, but I'm just saying this was just a pretty cool thing. Here's the official announcement on Reddit if you need more proof. This is something they've done before, and I think it's something we need back. So if we just go through this very quickly, right? I just want to highlight my favorite buffs, my favorite little rebalances that I think would make people want to reset someone else and build this unit, right? So if we look at Tsukiyomi over here, her S2 over here, Bee's Swarm, now does not just reset the cooldowns of all allies' skills and all allies' shells, it's also going to do it to her own, right? That changes so much. Before, this was everybody but her. Now it includes her. This really changes a lot of strategy. Tsukiyomi is so much more relevant now for a lot of endgame things. In Arena, she's someone a lot of people might want to build, so you might want to reset some other units. Another thing that would just be really positive is a lot of us built these really specific units for progression that we don't really use anymore, and it would be really cool to have an avenue. Because this is an RTA game, because this is a PvP game and not a PvE game, it'd be really cool if we could reset some of those old PvE units we don't use anymore, so we could be more invested in our PvP units and thus engage with the core mode of the game, the PvP modes, a lot more. And I think that would make the devs happy, right? If more of us were playing PvP. If I could reset my Real Mocha and get 4 lattices back, or reset my Rosa and get 8 lattices back. I put 8 lattices into Rosa ages ago. Before I cared about PvP, when I was just progressing and she was my favorite character. I would love to get those 8 back and put them into, I don't know, Plume, something like that. Put them in my Rahu. That would be awesome. And again, I think it would be a win for the game. If we continue, let's go to Borgny. Huge damage buffs, right? Huge damage buffs and huge self-healing. This is crazy. His S1 is up 10% in damage, and the self-healing is now 100% lifesteal, up from 60%. If there are more than 4 surviving enemies, damage is again boosted. His Dispel goes from 1 to 2. Really, really good stuff. Jada, always a character a lot of people loved and Animus people really were into. One that was never my favorite. She would be now if I could build her. This is crazy. She gets increased effect resistance, and then she has basically built-in Bloodbath into her kit. That's awesome. She has all these different ways with her evolution to reduce damage taken by 15%. You could build her in Bloodbath, and then she's the tankiest thing ever because she has like innate Bloodbath, and then she's wearing Bloodbath. Or you can go extra DPS and skip out on the Bloodbath because she basically has Bloodbath ingrained in her kit. That'd be really, really cool. How about Nahor? Nahor just got insanely relevant for PvP because his freezes are so much more reliable. That's everything, right? He's doing everything over multiple hits now. We all know how effect accuracy works in this game. It's going to be a lot more often that he lands an AoE freeze. Nahor would be sweet to invest in for a lot of players. The final one I want to talk about is Lilith. There's a lot to go through here, but my God, it is just a lot of damage. She's always been a bit underrated as a DPSer who's dealing damage based off of the target's HP, but now it just goes one step further. This move here, her second skill, Graceful Finale, is going to deal, on top of all the good stuff it already had, an additional instance of damage equal to a quarter of the main target's HP. Cannot exceed Lilith's HP, so just keep building Lilith tanky like you were already doing. Then you can see Graceful Mischief, her special effect. Now you can see it's not just dealing the indirect damage based off of Lilith's max HP, but also 25% of the afflicted unit's max HP. I don't know if this is an increase in damage or brand new damage. This here is brand new damage, but all in all, it is just really, really good stuff. I think it's strictly additional, and it's just really good. Silence, I don't know how much this would be for PvP, so I don't know how relevant it is, but this is a pretty good buff. There is a lot of stuff here. There really, really is. There's a lot of things to be excited about, but our excitement naturally is going to be limited because you might have your Lilith or your Jada or your Tsukiyomi on your bench, and you're thinking, dang, unfortunately, if I can't reset some of these old Animuses I don't use anymore, they're going to have to stay on the bench because I can't invest in them. It always comes with the caveat that, yes, some units you don't need to fully skill up, but if you're going to use them in PvP, and like if it's going to be like a Lilith for those skills, you are going to want to be invested. So I'm going to step off of my soapbox. I just wanted to get this off my chest. I desperately think we need an Animus Reconfigure event. We need a rerun of the Animus Reset event. Please, Mr. Etheria, XD, Jack, bring it back. You won't regret it, and it's going to make a lot of people very happy. Let me know what you guys think below, and let me know if you're subscribed to the channel. And you can let me know by doing it. Please do that. We're trying to get to 2,000 subs. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're not yet playing Etheria Restart, use my link in the description in the top pinned comment, and you can start playing with me today. Thank you, guys. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.